Well, y'all, I knew it was gonna be a matter of time for this to happen. So this comes from ArizonaFamily.com. So what happens when a Waymo is at fault and they crash? I knew it won't be too long for something like this to happen. I knew eventually that the way them Waymo was glitching, that eventually it's gonna cause a wick. But let me let y'all listen to this video.
Thank you. Now, Arizona's Family investigates. There have been some close calls with driverless Waymos on Arizona roads, but just how often do Waymos cause crashes? And when they are at fault, can a Waymo actually get a ticket?
Always makes you do a double take when you don't see a driver behind the wheel. Turns out federal regulators won't say who's at fault when a Waymo gets into a collision. So Arizona's Family investigates spent months tracking down an answer. Here's Derek Stahl.
I mean, this is the middle of Scottsdale, basically.
Yeah, this is the heart.
Jafar Yassin brought us to the spot in Old Town Scottsdale, where he encountered a Waymo in October coming straight at him.
And then I saw the Waymo changing lane, driving towards me.
That must have been kind of scary.
It is scary, especially when I saw it's a Waymo and I know this is a computer. It's not a human being, This is AI.
According to Scottsdale police, the Waymo crossed the double yellow line right here and hit Yassin's car at slow speed. Then it kept going, scratching the driver's side. Photos at the scene show the Waymo, which had a passenger in the wrong lane.
Do you think a human driver would have done this?
Of course not. Of course not. Especially in a crowded situation like this. I gotta call it reckless.
Police faulted the Waymo, but just how often are Waymos to blame?
We're talking fully autonomous, so no driver inside.
Waymo launched the world's first self-driving passenger service in Arizona in late 2020. Since 2021, federal records show their vehicles have been involved in at least 202 crashes in Arizona, ranging from minor fender benders to 31 injury collisions. But NHTSA's public database is heavily redacted, and it does not say how often the Waymos are at fault. To find out, we spent 6 months collecting police crash reports.
Let me pause this for a second. The fact they ain't they not talk about put in the paper who's at fault here. Come on now, don't take it just no at fault. The people who made those Waymo robot tax car and got them on the road, they at fault. Cause they not making sure them things are right. And personally, this is a good enough reason why that Waymo robot test need to be taken off the road. And they be taken off the road, we're gonna be causing all this.
From across Waymo's service area in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Chandler, Mesa, and Tempe, we found 71 crashes reported to police and discovered 87% of the time Waymos were not at fault. Officers blamed the Waymo just 13% of the time.
So first I just want to say that the standard today is not perfection.
Camille Dredge is Waymo's Senior Director for Ride-Hail Operations.
So collisions will, and they will and can occur. We are absolutely prepared to respond to them.
She cited the company's own safety research, which found Waymos were involved in 81% fewer injury crashes than human drivers and had 88% fewer property damage claims. But those studies and our own analysis did not include cases where a confused Waymo caused other vehicles to crash and the Waymo wasn't touched, something we stumbled on in this report. We also found cases where Waymos caused wrecks that police thought were worthy of a ticket.
Pulled up to a red light and then boom, we got hit from behind pretty darn hard.
What was the damage like?
It totaled the car.
Joel Kaspers was on his way to the movies when he got rear-ended by a Waymo while stopping for a red light on Chandler Boulevard in 2021.
But everybody else just stopped, and as soon as I stopped, that's when we got rear-ended, and it was pretty hard. They must have been doing 30, it seemed like, because it knocked us into the center of the intersection.
Wow. The officer wrote, at this time, the Waymo was not issued a citation since the Waymo was in autonomous mode and no person was inside the vehicle at the time of the crash.
Do you think Waymos
should get tickets?
Well, I thought they would have issued the handler the ticket or the corporation a ticket. But the fact that they couldn't do it because there's nobody in the car, somebody should have got something.
Right, does that seem fair?
No.
Let me pause this for a second. That is the slitness of what they're trying to do. See, if y'all know something gonna wrong with those cars, because nobody is not technically in their drive, they can't give nobody a ticket or hold somebody. You know what? I don't care. Here's my thing. Anytime those self-driving Waymo robot taxi car cause an accident, the ones who made those cars, they should be held responsible. It don't take no genius to figure it out. Hold those who made the vehicle in the first place, hold them at fault. But see, these people out here trying to be slick.
I got a unmanned vehicle that was kind of taken off from me. It's a Waymo car.
Last June, a Phoenix police officer pulled over a Waymo for crossing into oncoming traffic, but instead of writing a ticket,
Hi!
Connected to rider support.
the officer spoke with rider support.
You know the construction here? Yeah. It was eastbound in the westbound lanes. Oh! Which is real bad.
Some drivers might think it's unfair that a Waymo can't get a ticket, an AV. How do you think about that, and maybe more broadly, the purpose of citations and the purpose of tickets?
Well, I mean, we abide by the same rules that any road user abides by. So we have instances where we have had parking citations, and so that does exist. I don't know exactly the incident you're talking about. I haven't actually reviewed the video. I do know that the vehicle, when it would be pulled over, would work to pull over to a safe spot and then interact with law enforcement that way.
If the purpose of a ticket is to change driver behavior, Waymo can do that at the push of a button. And to illustrate that, we're heading to Van Buren and 36th Street. Back in 2023, two Waymos were heading down Van Buren when they came upon a tow truck hauling another vehicle. It was hauling the vehicle in an unusual way, and both Waymos collided with the vehicle under tow, one after another. Waymo recalled its software and it started pushing out an update in about 9 days. It had the full fleet updated in about a month. Then last year, a Waymo hit a utility pole in this alley near 7th Avenue in Roosevelt. Waymo again issued a recall. This time, it pushed out a software update to all 672 of its vehicles in 2 weeks. Have you ever ridden in a Waymo vehicle?
No, I have not.
Do you intend to?
No, I do not.
Joel Kaspers and Jafar Yassin aren't convinced.
I don't think it's ready yet, for sure. They're not ready yet to be. I feel they're dangerous.
Now, it's worth noting, these crashes are rare, considering Waymo has now traveled more than 31 million miles in Arizona alone. Under Arizona law, officers can issue Waymo a ticket for a moving violation, but the law says the ticket has to go to the company executive who applied for the initial permit with the state. Phoenix PD has said it is not feasible for them to track that person down each time there's a violation.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking when the cop goes up to the window. Hi, how are you?
There.
Well, there's no one behind the wheel.
Waymo says they've done a lot of training, by the way, with law enforcement, so they are prepared to interact with their vehicles.
But still, let's say you hit a Waymo, I hit a Waymo. Mm-hmm. How are you supposed to exchange insurance information? Then what?
Yeah, we found evidence that there's some confusion out there. By law, you have to exchange information with another party, including an autonomous vehicle. Waymo tells me people should go to their website, waymo.com/notify. There's a
What type of foolishness is that? What type of foolishness is that? Man, let me tell y'all something. You know what? I'm sorry, but you know what? Them things need to get off the road. I'm sorry. These things need to get off the road because they done cause. And you know what? I don't fully buy that 13% of the accident is their fault. I believe it's way more than that. Because before, these Waymo robot taxi car was glitching and the passenger who was driving it couldn't get out. And that happened on 2 separate occasions. Come on, man. These Waymo robot taxi cars, they glitch you way too much for them to be causing 13% of the accident. I'm not fully buying that.
There, it's got a phone number. There's also a form you can fill out. If you don't have access to your phone, you can also wait with the Waymo, and they will send out a roadside assistance team. So there are some different options there. One of the drivers I spoke with in the story said it was pretty easy. The roadside team got there pretty fast. The other driver said it was confusing. It was hard to find the information on the website. It was hard for me to find the information on the website, but we've put it on azfamily.com.
Yeah, that case, I think his name was Joel, when he was pushed out into the intersection. That could have been much worse if he got T-boned in the intersection. That could have been really bad.
You know, and we reviewed the cases where Waymo was at fault. Fortunately, none of them resulted in serious injury.
I mean, they were just in a little part of Phoenix. Now they're valley-wide. Now they're testing them on our highways as well.
And expanding to more states.
Get these things off the road, man. Get these Waymo robot tests. Get them off the road. They need to be hauled because... And even when they got the software update, it took almost a full week for them to... you know what? I don't understand these people and how they do stuff, how they create this stuff. These self-driving vehicles. Matter of fact, at this point, it really ain't no confusion. All they got to do, this is just my personal opinion, if the Waymo or robot test cause an accident, talk to the corporate, the people who the company who made these cars. Talk to them, because they make them. They should deal with them. But this right here crazy right here. This is crazy. And I ain't surprised this happened. It was just a matter of time for this to happen. I knew something like this was gonna happen when I did that article, or when these Waymo robot tests start glitching. I believe eventually something gonna happen, and it will be Waymo fault, because there've been too many previous incidents that's been going on, kinks that's been going on with this Waymo anonymous robot tax. That's been going on before. I knew this event right here wasn't gonna be too far away. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I'll put a link to the article in the description. But man, these people are always trying to try something to get out something, because and it ain't nothing hard to figure out. If you can't, if they go out a ticket, let that ticket go to the company who made these cars, because they the one that created and want these cars out here so bad. Give them the ticket. Shoot. Be sure to subscribe, and if you are new to the channel, be sure to share these videos, and I'll see y'all next time.